As we've detailed here before, College Bound Dorchester is a nonprofit organization poised to be a national model for using education to end systemic generational urban poverty and violence. Based in the Bowdoin, Geneva neighborhood of Dorchester, the organization is spearheading a new initiative to get the dropout, gang-leading youth into community colleges where they can earn associate's degrees and positively influence the community around them. On May 9th, College Bound Dorchester's annual We Are Uncornered Gala raised nearly $400,000 to support this initiative. More than 300 people attended the gala at the State Room in Boston. To give us more information on the evening and the program, we've invited College Bound Dorchester CEO Mark Culliton to the show, and college readiness advisor Ismail Abdurrashid, who shares a story similar to many of the students he now mentors. Welcome to Urban Update, gentlemen. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Mark, let me start with you. We you had the gala. We heard it was a success. Tell us again what these funds are going to be used for.
Yeah, it's really to build the Uncornered movement, which is a fundamental shift in our perspective about the power and potential of gang-involved youth. And so it's funding gang leaders, gang members to make a positive choice to get into education, but really to lead our communities out of generational poverty.
Now, how has this creative and unique initiative been received by the community?
The community loves it. I mean, it's a big challenge for us to shift our mindsets about who's the problem and who's the solution. But the success that our young people are having has really changed minds about the ability of formerly gang-involved individuals to lead their communities from poverty to opportunity.
Now, Ismail, you're part of the College Bound Dorchester staff,
yes.
But you share a journey that's similar to many of the students you're mentoring now. Can you tell us a little bit about that story?
Wow. My story is just simply the story of my students played out 30 years earlier. Very familiar, raised in a single-parent household where I saw my mother struggle to raise 2 children. Didn't have a male role model, inside of the home, which caused me to gravitate, into the streets early on. Became, disengaged at points, in my life. And like, I always say, oftentimes people live the way they live because no one yet has come to show them a better way. And this is what we try to do, through this work, through this movement, the Boston Uncornered movement, to show our students that other viable options exist and that we can use education as, as a means, as a vehicle to promote upward social mobility.
Now, do you think that the shared experience allows you to have an impact on the students that you might not otherwise be able to?
Very much so. In terms of being effective in this line of work, you have to remain transparent long enough for the student to be able to ascertain, to be able to identify that you have vested interest in their future success.
Mark, how's the battle going to change these lives? Can you see a difference?
Yeah, I mean, it's apparent immediately when you allow yourself to get close to and to get proximate to these individuals. The most stark data point is nationally gang-involved youth matriculate at 1%, and our number is 71%.
Wow.
70 times the national average. And that's the power and possibility of them and folks like Ismail as the guides, mentors, coaches to our young people.
Now, Ismail, in your view, what is it that many of these kids lack or what they need to be successful that you feel that you can provide them there?
Again, points of reference. Oftentimes, young adults at risk, proven risk, young adults, they are desirous of effectuating change in their lives, but however, do not know exactly how, to bring that, into existence, to make that possible. And this is where, my role, and the role of other CIAs, comes into play, where we work with them, and we advise them, not only around the academic piece, but also the social piece, the life skills that are necessary to be able to make that transition.
Now, Mark, we oftentimes hear stories about kids who take the wrong turn, but there are many kids who are able to change their lives, but we just don't hear about them as much, do we?
No, I think we're too often too quick to write off these guys as too old, too far gone. And that's the whole idea of Boston Uncornered, is we've been trying to fix neighborhoods around the corners and allowing the crews to control the corners and never effectively engaging them. If you believe in their possibility, if you set high expectations, these guys are ready to do it. Now, I can't do it. I can't go on the corner. But when Ish or Will or Kenny or Q goes out there with a shared life experience and says, this is a different way and you can lead in a different way, these guys are hungry for it and do it.
So I guess so. You go out there. How do you go out on the streets and you talk to these kids about going to college?
Yes.
They must look at you like you have three heads.
Well, you know, for many of the students, potential students, you know, students that we currently have, many of them haven't ever considered post-secondary education, you know, as an option prior, you know, to coming in contact, you know, with College Bound Dorchester. But however, you know, we engage them. Well, you have to be able to reach them before you can teach them. And you will not be able to reach them if you do not go out and seek them. So this is what we do, you know, and just sell them, you know, on the idea of, again, using education, you know, to be able to make better decisions.
Any success stories you can talk about that come to mind?
Oh, so many. I mean, I think the success is individual. We had Paul Burns, who spoke at the gala, who was arrested the first time when he was 11. Then again at 14, then again at 17, did a 5-year bid. He just came through College Bound, got his GED, and just last Saturday graduated from Ben Franklin Institute, and even more importantly, has brought friends along and brought other members of the sort of crew or set that he's hanging with into the program and resisted the urge to get back out there and you know, do the things that he had used to do. So there's story after story of young people, when you give them a path and an opportunity, they're desperate to take it. These guys want to be out of this lifestyle. They want to do the positive thing. We just have to get close enough to them to allow them to make that choice.
Any success stories that come to mind from all the kids you've dealt with?
There are thousands of stories. But we have, you know, but a common theme would be this. Again, you know, being able to reach them, which allows us to teach them, you know, and then being able to get them, take them from the corner to and through college, you know.
What would you say to any of them, any potential mentees who might be watching this show right now?
You know, we do not have to continue the way that we have historically lived. You know, different options and opportunities do exist.
Okay, all right. And Mark, finally, I guess, what would you like to say to everyone who made your gala a success?
Well, first, thanks to you and thanks to everybody, but join the Uncornered movement. The most important thing that we can do is not only help these students, but uncorner our own minds about the power of gang-involved youth to change communities.
Okay, and we'll leave it right there. Mark Culliton and Ismail Abdurrashid, thank you both for coming in, and congratulations on doing such great work.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, that's it for this edition of Urban Update. I'm Byron Barnett from all of us here. Have a great Sunday, everyone.